Before we continue with this video, it's Pedro's birthday. I want to congratulate Pedro. He deserved to be with the national team. That even rhymed. Man, he's the top scorer. Respect, the monster of Brazilian football, the best striker in Brazilian football, the guy who's scoring the most goals. He's the guy who scores chip goals over Fabio, who should also have been called up, but who is the best goalkeeper currently playing in Brazilian football. And Pedro took him out for nothing, scored a chip goal, scores with his chest. Man, he plays too much, my friends. He plays too much volleys. Man, Pedro is a monster. He had to be there. And Jose Boto, I even disagree in this case regarding Neymar, because I personally thought it was important for Neymar to be called up. And I think Neymar can help. He can add to the team if he's doing well, but he's taking a little too long. Yeah, I'm in favor of Neymar. Okay, guys, I'm in favor of Neymar. You know, I asked for Neymar a lot, actually. Now, the main point for us to talk about here is this. Pedro, playing the way he's playing, living the moment he's living, he couldn't be left out. Yeah, it's almost something kind of inexplicable, right? Neymar or some other players who aren't in ideal condition are there and Pedro isn't. Yeah, it's also inexplicable that Fabio isn't there, for example, right? Jose Boto pointed that out. Look at it.
Game in this World Cup, and I have it now. Why Jose? Why Boto? Because that's his season. He says this his last season. And this season says this, and I'm really sorry about it because I like him a lot, but I can't play 2 games in a row. Obviously, it's Neymar, right?
He says he can't play 2 games in a row, and he's really sorry that he likes him a lot, right? Yes.
But I can't understand how it is. What player who has, I don't know, 2 games in the last 2 months gets called up? And a player like Pedro, one of ours, who has 15 goals, is the top scorer in the Brasileiro, in a team that has some difficulty scoring goals, isn't called up. Ultimately, these decisions are up to the coach.
It's really hard to understand, but these are things up to the coach, who will either pay for them or not. What a blow, my friends. Hey guys, good morning. Greetings, red and black fans. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're just arriving, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down here, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, and leave a cool like on the video. We're here to bring you a lot of information about Mengão. Man, check this out, huh? Be careful with the civil defense alert. Bam! That's right. Alien invasion. Yeah, man, Skynet, AI taking over everything. Look, things are getting serious. You have to stay alert, my brother. Check it out, huh? Man, 10,000 Our Fathers, 10,000 Hail Marys. Things are getting serious, partner. That's it. We're here also to remind you. Man, it's really important for you to share our video. You're sending it to everyone in the groups, right? We're here bringing it to you too. Man, look, that was awesome, man. That was awesome. This one, not even us. We didn't expect it. We didn't expect this one today, okay? We want to remind you that you can be there enjoying yourself, playing responsibly. It's for people over 18. It's for fun, not an investment. I'll leave it in the pinned comment, okay? I'll leave the stake QR code here too so you can sign up right now, man. The best sports betting site on the planet. You can get it now with odds that you create. You can make some awesome bets. Always, right? Just some pocket change, just kidding. And look, yesterday we hit a great one that I'm going to show you, but today there are some interesting games for you to register using the link Netherlands and Sweden, right? The famous Holland, right? Holland and Sweden, great match, okay? This game right now, I don't think there's even time for you to play, but the 5 p.m. game, Germany and Ivory Coast, there's still time for that one, huh? Look, there are several options for you to try. There are, man, I would go for it, okay? Germany to win the game, over 2.5 goals in the match. This is a game for 2-1, 3-1 Germany to win the game, over 2.5 goals in the match, okay? Ecuador and Curacao, okay? That's also a great match today, right? Gonzalo Plata, right? That game is at 9 p.m. There's still time for you to play with that one too. But what I wanted to show you, because what happens, we have here, look, man, a lot of cool things are working out here. And this one from yesterday was spectacular. Look here, Brazil and Haiti. To see Brazil to win, right? Or to start out winning the game and for Brazil to win the game in the end. In other words, Brazil had to finish the first half winning and Brazil had to finish the game winning too. Okay? Yeah. And then another one worked out here too. Yeah, look at this. Vini Jr. to make an assist or score a goal or score at any time. This one hit perfectly. Look at this. Look how beautiful that is. Let me see if you can see it there. Look, look. Here, look. Look at the little green one. See, it hit there. There's a reflection, but just look. It's beautiful. That was our tip on the steak yesterday. Stay tuned as we always bring good stuff. The one I gave for Germany today is really good, okay? Yeah, I think so too. I would also go with Ecuador. Ecuador to win the game, okay? Ecuador to win the game. I think you could also put over 1.5 goals in the match. Ecuador to win also looks good. Always play responsibly. It's for people over 18 years old. It's entertainment, not an investment. Steak. Let's go. Look, I have some important information to share with you regarding the transfer market. Yeah, a lot of people ask me, Paparazzo, is Flamengo still going to try to sign Danilo Santos, the Botafogo player? Is there a chance Flamengo will sign him? So I found out that Flamengo is trying to throw people off, okay? There was even some information that came out recently saying that Flamengo is still trying to sign Danilo, that Flamengo had a meeting to sign Danilo. The thing is, a source close to Flamengo's management denies it. They say, no, there was no news. There's nothing new regarding Danilo. We've seen a lot of people saying that Flamengo is still interested. A source close to Flamengo's management says Flamengo isn't prioritizing a defensive midfielder this transfer window. Flamengo is prioritizing a midfielder, a forward, and possibly the chance to sign a left back. It turns out that a source I spoke to, a businessman I talked to, assured me that Flamengo is still interested in Danilo Santos, that Flamengo hasn't given up on signing Danilo. What he told me is that Flamengo gave up on Luiz Henrique. Flamengo already knows they won't be able to get there. Even though BAP said they were able to sign Danilo and Luiz Henrique, what this agent told me, who is involved in the negotiations, is the following. Flamengo has already shelved the move for Luiz Henrique for now because they know that after the World Cup, Luiz Henrique will get huge offers from Europe and Zenit won't accept less than 60 million euros. And knowing that, Flamengo will scout for a striker. Flamengo will sign a market opportunity for a midfielder. And Flamengo will indeed look for a player who knows how to play out from the back, who can shoot, who does well, right? The role of a defensive midfielder, okay? Who does well as a box-to-box midfielder. And that name is still Danilo. Flamengo will try to make a new offer for Botafogo, okay? So they're there, right? Expecting to make this offer for Danilo, okay? So Flamengo is still interested. The story about Danilo isn't over yet. Now, about Luiz Henrique, my friends, I'm bringing you some information about that. Luiz Henrique, that's a done deal, okay? According to this agent I talked to, the deal is totally off. They've already given up, right? Flamengo already knows the prices are really high. It's much more than what they paid for Paquetá. And Flamengo won't be able to reach those numbers when it comes to Luiz Henrique. Danilo, Flamengo believes it's possible to bring down Botafogo's asking price a little bit and get there, and then they scout for an attacker, also look for a market opportunity in midfield, and then, yes, they would sign Danilo, and it has to be for the middle of the year, okay? Because otherwise Botafogo will end up negotiating the player, and Flamengo will miss this opportunity. Look, another important piece of information for us to bring here is that Jorge Carrascal, I've already told you that the board was disappointed by the fact that he wasn't playing. Yeah, not increasing his value at the World Cup. Flamengo was hoping they could negotiate the player. Jorge Carrascal asked to leave Flamengo after the competition, right? After playing for Colombia, if he even gets on the field, right? According to Flazuero, our friend Flazuero, Flamengo is willing to negotiate the Colombian forward, but only with foreign clubs. So Flamengo is defining the situation regarding the sale of Jorge Carrascal. The board rules out any transfer to Brazilian teams to avoid strengthening direct competitors. Yeah, in the past, Flamengo turned down a 20 million euro offer. I remember I was the one who broke that story at the time, right? It was an exclusive. Olympique de Marseille offered 118 million reais, but Flamengo rejected it. We reported this as offers were also coming in for Leo Pereira. The situation has changed. A new international offer will be analyzed, and Flamengo may indeed negotiate Jorge Carrascal. Look, we had Alfredo Almeida, the director of Flamengo's youth categories. He's actually the one organizing these young players who are going to reinforce the professional team. Yeah, we had him talking about Rayan Roberto. Check this out. Listen up. He also...
how he's going to adjust as well, because he was a player who also wanted a project that was more thought out for this transition to the professional level.
How was that for you guys?
To deal with this situation, and also how to bring this up, so that it doesn't happen again, but so that it's better and you don't lose the player in this way.
For us to achieve the goals that my colleague asked about earlier, it takes two parties to believe: the club's willingness and the athlete's willingness. And everything that the club could and was able to do,
I told you.
It did. The club presented.
The club structured it, advised.
The athlete still must be willing.
Then we can't control it anymore.
Which was the specific case.
If you weren't born in Rio de Janeiro, you're probably not a Flamengo fan. You all mentioned that a lot. So it's clear that the agent's advisors and everyone else taking care of the player wanted to get him out of Flamengo, a weak-minded player. Man, it's sad. Flamengo will get 10% in the future. They're getting a small amount now, but it's still interesting. That's what I tell you. There's no point in blaming the club for a player who has an agent right there, you see. Right? Messing with the player's head. The player listens to the agent and ends up leaving through the back door when he could have left through the front door, shining, having opportunities, right? This isn't like the Matheus Gonçalves case, okay? Matheus Gonçalves did everything to play and stay at Flamengo, but Flamengo wanted to transfer him. I think that's a big mistake, especially since Felipe Luiz was still there then. It was a huge mistake what they did with Matheus Gonçalves. In my opinion, he was Flamengo's biggest talent in the last 5 years. Matheus Gonçalves had everything needed to shine and truly embodied Flamengo as a dribbler. A player who's always involved, a player who scores goals, a player who jokes around, who teases. He's the face of Flamengo, similar to Rayan, who enjoys having fun and brings joy like Rayan did. Flamengo had that, but didn't use it. Not Rayan Roberto, though. He wanted to leave. He listened to the wrong people and wanted to leave. For me, that's the big difference. Now let's hear from Rodrigo Caetano. Rodrigo, how do you evaluate this possibility? Because whether you like it or not, it's a tournament where the games are very close. And it's a matter now that, for example, Scotland will try to sit back as much as possible to play against Brazil, because with 4 points, they will qualify, right, as the third place team. So Brazil could face a very defensive opponent, while Morocco and Haiti will need to attack. So how do you see this possibility, this last round, which happens at the same time, knowing there's the question of whether or not you'll go to Mexico? Does it change the logistics? How does all of this work out?
Well, first of all, today we're still catching our breath a little right after the game. And we had a great first half. We earned our first 3 points. Now we're going after what has always been our goal since the first match, which was to be first in the group because of the many advantages we believe we'll have in the next stage. Not about the opponent, but mainly logistics. I think it's going to be a tough round for everyone, right? Yeah, in the second half, Haiti itself showed that it's a team that can compete well, right? They fixed what went wrong in the first half and made things tough for us. Yeah, what we saw from Scotland today as well in the second half, they almost managed to tie with Morocco. I think it's going to be a round where any detail can decide who qualifies, and especially the winner of the group.
What was your role this week, which was full of pressure, in helping to relieve the players for today's game?
Look, our work is invisible, and that's how it should be, right? This support, especially our staff's role of always working to provide the best conditions for the athletes and for their technical sharpness, is constant. And working with the Brazilian national team in a World Cup comes with pressure that won't ease at all just because of a win. Not everything was wrong when we drew, and not everything is right just because we won. That's part of it. It's inherent to our profession. We have to manage it well. The athletes are experienced, and they know that. Yeah. I'm absolutely sure that the team will keep improving throughout the competition, and that's why we have to stay calm and take it game by game, improving as we go.
Isn't Rafinha a concern?
Every player, when they're substituted because of a possible injury, obviously makes us a bit anxious and worried until they get their tests done. All of us hope that it's nothing serious, that it's something simple, and that he can be with us as soon as possible. Rafinha has exceptional athletic ability. He's a very talented player, one of the great players in world football. And tomorrow, God willing, when we get the test results, we can not only calm ourselves, but also reassure you and all Brazilian fans. As for the end of the hip, they're totally ready, used to big games. Of course, wearing the Brazilian national team jersey adds a lot of weight and responsibility, but they're young players already used to big games. Rodrigo, congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Rafinha, guys. Rafinha.
Yes, yes.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
I remember that before the game you would come and say, man, my leg is shaking, right? Your legs shake, right? In a World Cup game like this, how was this game for you?
Man, actually, for someone coming to the World Cup to make your debut like this, it's in a moment when, unfortunately, our Rafinha felt something in his thigh, but I hope it's nothing serious. Yeah, but to debut like this, with this victory, was a very important moment, not just for me, but for my wife and my family. A moment of great happiness, yeah, to debut with this victory. I'm very happy.
Congratulations. Rayan, good evening. Is Rayan happy today? For sure. Rayan, tell us what the coach told you, even to take off some of the pressure, to ease things regarding your debut.
The coach always asked us to go in calmly, just doing our part. Yeah, the way he told me, I went in and it worked out. So with this wonderful victory, thanks.
You reacted to the coach calling you over there.
Man, actually, it all happened really fast there because Rafinha went to the bench, said he felt something in his thigh, so I warmed up quickly, and it was a really quick moment when I got into the game. Yeah, Ali, those last 5 minutes there, the last 7 minutes, it was a really intense moment. There was a lot of pressure, but I came in really happy. Thanks.
I told Hendrik that if I'd made that pass, it would have been an assist for him.
That's true. It was only a matter of centimeters. Thanks. Who told you you'd be playing in the game, and how did you find out?
How was it?
It was a really quick moment. I think I hadn't seen Rafinha when the bench said he felt something in his thigh. I also think that even though it has nothing to do with him, it was a really quick moment there. I think for about 5 minutes, everything happened really fast. But I want to thank the coach for the opportunity he gave me. Come here, this jersey. It's a special jersey. What are you going to do with it? No worries. I'm going to frame it. Thanks.
That's it. Please follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Greetings, red and black fans. This is Flamengo. Thanks.